Good evening, everyone. The first thing I want to do is, on behalf of Pilar's mom, Jan, and Cosmo, and Rita, Dan's mom and dad, I want to thank you very much for being here. I want to thank the bridesmaids, bridegrooms. I know many of you have traveled a long distance, and you've spent 2 or 3 days, and without you, it wouldn't be the same. So thank you very much for being here, and welcome to Dallas. As I look around, I see Dan's friends, and I had the pleasure on Thursday of spending a lot of time hunting in Oklahoma, quail hunting with some of these guys. And the interesting thing is, he's known many of these guys from undergraduate school, from high school, from first grade to second grade, and it speaks really well of him to have all these friends. And then I see Pilar's friends, and I see the Hockaday girls in undergraduate school and graduate school. But the nice thing is, they're not Pilar's friends anymore. They're not Dan's friends anymore. They're their friends. And so for all of you, thank you very, very much. You really made a special opportunity for them today. Pilar and I have kind of a unique relationship. It developed because of sports, and as a result of that, Pilar traveled a lot. And over about a 10 or 12 year period, I spent ungodly amounts of time in cars and planes, in inexpensive team hotels, emergency rooms, Chili's, and Denny's for lunch. And as a result of that, we had a great bond. So what happened when Pilar started to date? She would typically bring guys home to the house, and they were usually on nights when there was an athletic event going on and Angus was around for diversion. And so typically by 10 o'clock the next morning, I would get a call, or she would bounce into the kitchen and she would go something like this. Dad. Yes, Pilar. What did you think of him? He was okay. Is that the best I'm going to get? Yes. That went on for about 4 or 5 years. And then her senior year, we started to hear about Dan. It was like a slow drum beat. And it got louder and louder and louder. And then I received a call from Pilar's brother, Angus. Dad, have you know about Dan? He's from New York. I said, yes, I've heard about that. You need to go see him. So eventually, as time went by, I did. And the first time I met Dan, we went to dinner, and it was Pilar and Dan and myself. No Angus, no TV, no sporting. So within the first 5 minutes, we talked about Duke, the ACC, and athletics. The next 30 minutes, we talked about sports. The next hour, we talked about sports. And Pilar just looked and shook her head and never said a word. But something kind of amazing happened that night. I looked at Pilar. She looked at me. I knew. She knew. We both knew. We knew that Dan may have been the one. Dan didn't know. He was still talking sports. So I do a lot of business in New York, and I have a lot of friends in New York. And the last 2 or 3 months, I've been getting calls. It said, hey, McDonald, how do you feel about walking down the aisle and giving your daughter away to a guy from New York? And I didn't really think much about it. And the more I thought about it, it struck me a couple of weeks ago that I know something they don't know. I know Dan. So when that door opened and I brought it down the aisle, it was what was right. It was a warm feeling. I think it was warm to Jan, and it was special. And it was a very easy thing to do. So I welcome you, Dan, and your family, and I'd ask everybody to join with me in a toast to Mr. and Mrs. Dan Opedasap.
My name's Mia Parker, and I'm Pilar's sister. And thank you, David, for hosting, and to our mom, Jan Barbolio, for this incredibly beautiful room. This is spectacular. And to her fantastic team, Lauren and Henry. They were right back there, we lost them. And Lisa, who's also helped with my wedding. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank the Opedasanos for a fantastic rehearsal dinner last night. Thank you. A few years ago, I was so fortunate to have Pilar as my maid of honor. So I'm proud to be able to represent and be her matron of honor now. Some of you may not know this, but Pilar always wanted to be a meteorologist. It was her dream job. And it makes complete sense, actually, if you think about it, because Pilar is confident, and a meteorologist needs to be confident. They need to be charismatic. They need to be right 50% of the time. Everyone knows the first two apply to Pilar, but as her older sister, I can say that the 50% of the time may be a bit generous. So Pilar has always been supremely confident. There's no doubt about that. Actually, sometimes she believes she's my older sister. We all know Pilar's amazing achievements on the soccer field, right? Everybody knows that. But it was a shopping trip about 15 years ago that really struck home to me when I thought about her confidence. So I was home from college. I was 19 years old, and Pilar was only 14. We were out jean shopping because I thought I needed a new pair of jeans, and Pilar quickly pointed out that the jeans I had picked out were not the best fit and were not going to look the best. Why? Because she knows. That same 14-year-old came to visit me in college. And I was lucky enough to walk around with her in college and have everyone ask me, who is the beautiful freshman that is walking around with Mia? And unfortunately, that was not actually the biggest kind of highlight of Pilar's visit, because she captivated the room when she came to sit in my dining hall and sit with a big group of my friends. 14-year-old, imagine this. She's 14 years old and with college friends, and she owns the room. And this is because of her enthusiasm and spirit. You all know this. This is not new. Pilar has always known what she loves and what she wants. One particular affinity, Angus knows this well, is her love for zesty Italian dressing. It was a requirement in our household, and Pilar put it on everything. So I guess we should have seen this coming. And I am so thankful that Pilar finally found a genuine zesty Italian. This is a demanding crowd in this room. This table over here. There's no doubt about that. And I can speak for all of us when I say we are so happy. I am so happy to welcome you into our family. just want to point out, this is not Pilar's first wedding. When Pilar was 5 years old, it was beautiful. It was almost as beautiful as this. It was in our backyard. Pilar invited her friends, of course, many of you who may be here tonight, and her ponies, to her dream wedding. At 5 years old, it was her birthday party. She wants to make sure I point out it was her birthday party, dream wedding. She actually had the cake topper that y'all are going to see tonight. But what she was missing, the only thing that was missing was the groom. The man of her dreams and her partner for life. I'm so glad you finally found each other. Cheers. To Dan and Pilar, I love you both.
Good evening, everybody. Mark Pedicano, the middle guy. Danny's my little brother, and he always will be. So last night we heard a lot from friends and family. We heard about love, friendship, admiration, and we heard a lot of people reference this power couple. I actually, I was tacking on the tablecloth. I think I counted 24 different mentions of the term. We counted 24 terms, power couple, the power couple. And I think that's totally fitting, right? Anybody that knows these two know that they are truly a power couple in many meanings of the words. And just want to ask, when you guys do run the world one day, just remember about the little people. I'll be here with my hand out. I think I'd need at least another hour or so to go on and talk about all the accomplishments. And listen, last night you guys did a fantastic job. We had about 15 to 20 people talking about everything that you guys have done and accomplished over the years, and it truly is admirable. But what I really want to focus on tonight, and what I think is even more important than what you both have accomplished, is what has driven you to accomplish everything that you've accomplished over the years. And from what I've witnessed, it's a passion and really a quiet intensity that you both have. When you choose to accomplish something, you go after it, and you get it. So I'll offer a quick story. Promise I'll be quick here. That I think embodies this passion and this quiet intensity. For those of you that have never experienced Danny's athletic prowess, when you see him tonight, when you congratulate him, don't shake his hand. Grab, give him a big, firm bear hug, and as Ivan Drago said in Rocky IV, he's not a man, he's made of steel. He's truly, I'd like to think I taught him a few of those weight room moves, but he's far surpassed anything that I've ever done over the years. Whether it's football, wrestling, lacrosse, most recently rugby, where are the rugby guys? Go Hogs. There they are, go Hogs. Anything Danny's done, any field of play that he's gotten involved in, he's dominated, absolutely dominated. So almost a year ago, when he decided to start training for this amateur boxing match, right, he called me up and said, Mark, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get involved in this boxing match. And I said, sure, why not? You know, doesn't surprise me at all, right? I had no reason to expect anything less than what he's experienced over the last 20 plus years, which is just dominating everything that he's touched. But this time the circumstances were a little different, right? He's fully vested in his fiancée. He's planning a wedding. He's attending one of the most competitive business schools and some of the most incredible classes you could ever take. He's playing rugby, traveling around the world, literally around the world. And now he tells me, hey, by the way, I want to add a boxing trainer and a pretty tight boxing schedule to the mix. And I simply said, listen, even for Danny, that's a lot. That's a lot. Again, I had no reason to doubt him. And as the weeks went on, he spent about 3 months training for this fight. And actually, if you walked through the cocktail hour, you probably saw a few pictures out there. If you didn't witness it, it was truly something amazing. So as the weeks went on, I started getting texts at 5 a.m., texts at 11 p.m. Hey, I'm just out there training. I got this Navy SEAL partner that I'm sparring with, and I went from feeling concerned and I was concerned for Danny early on that he had this big juggling match and he had all these things going on in his life. And after hearing about this, I was really concerned for this guy that had no idea. He had absolutely no idea the buzzsaw that he's about to walk into, right? So sure enough, we show up fight night. Danny's in the back. He's got his warthogs all around him. They start playing the Undertaker theme song. He comes out with a mannequin. All the warthogs, you guys did a fantastic job. Comes out with a mannequin dressed in a Wharton Law School shirt. They quickly dismember the mannequin, throw it into the crowd. You look into the eyes of this opponent, and this guy was scared, truly scared. Gets out within 2 seconds, 5 seconds maybe, you quickly realize this is not a matter of if, but when, right? This match is over. Is it going to happen 10 seconds from now, 30 seconds from now? Sure enough, he set a record, knocked the guy out within the first 30 seconds, right? Absolute record. Applause. So, I'll just offer that, you know, the quote where, and I love it, because so many people talk about luck, right? Oh, he was lucky. I saw the guy backstage. He didn't talk about luck. He simply said, what the hell was that? Who is that guy? I simply said, trust me, he's taking this real serious, probably more serious than your 23-year-old first year of law school is going to take it, right? And I really think that luck is where preparation meets opportunity, right? And that's exactly what we witnessed, right? Prepare, and you win. And I truly feel that you two, Pilar and Dan, you guys are truly lucky, but you made it happen, right? You guys have invested a lot of time, a lot of energy. You've lived in different cities. You've made it work. Relationships don't just happen. You make it work. And I've watched you two grow together, and I'm just so incredibly proud of who you've become. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for everything that you guys have done. It's been inspiring to watch. So, Pilar, I don't think it'll ever get old. It's your wedding night. I'll say it again. You're beautiful. Tonight, even more beautiful than you've ever been. Round of applause for the beautiful bride. And I can truly say that few can tolerate, let alone absolutely contain, the energy that Danny has, right? We've all experienced it. And you not only contain it, but you are the love of his life, and then you two are perfect together. You guys are the perfect match. So absolutely honored to have you as part of the family. I feel like you've been a part of the family for years, but we can officially say it now. So everybody raise a glass to the amazing couple, the power couple. Wishing you years of happiness.
So for the past 2 nights, everybody's heard speeches, plentiful. This is the last one, I promise. I'm going to be short and sweet, as I always am, but straight to the point. Most of you have heard from family and friends last night, and while I'm not going to overwhelm you with my stories, even more stories of accomplishments, friends, etc., I do bring a unique perspective as the older brother who had first-hand experience with 6-year-old Danny. A 6-year-old who would fight heavy eyelids to watch a West Coast Dodgers game at 11 p.m. when he could not tell you a single player on the field. But he just needed to be around competition. Growing up, whether it was basketball, baseball, football, if there was a team involved and good friends for him to be around, he was in. 2 blocks from our house in Tullamore Park. Every summer evening after sunset, you would have thought that the Super Bowl was being played, because Danny absolutely had to be there, rain or shine. Danny loved the competition, but more than that, he has a love for people and relationships, as witnessed by all the people in this room. Everybody was always a good guy. Whether I thought the guy was questionable, Danny would always say, but he's a good guy. I think we could all learn from that eternal optimism. Pilar, what can I say? I think we all think you're the perfect guy for Dan. Perfect. Horrible speeches, horrible. You're the perfect match for a brother in so many ways. His face lights up when you're near him more than any game I've ever seen him watch. We're extremely happy for you to join our family and look forward to making many memories in the future. I wish you best both of health, happiness, prosperity, and love. Salute.
Thing on. Okay. Okay, if you were at Mia's wedding, then you would have heard me do my other speech. This is my second wedding speech. And my first one actually went pretty well. Okay, and so the reason I really wanted to get up here was to really just talk about how I really feel about this. Like, I feel good, but well, this is kind of hard to explain. Well, just when I came to Jan's house for the pictures, when I saw Pilar in her wedding dress, I just got really, emotional and like, oh my gosh, she is just. I know this is something that a bunch of parents say, and it's like the cheesiest thing in the book. She is growing up. Okay, so, I just really want to wish Pilar and Dan just a really happy life together and lots of,